Joe, our borders have been demolished. Drugs and criminals are pouring in. Our economy is a mess. Our schools are in shambles. Our justice system is corrupt. We have a corrupt justice system. Who would have believed? Our Constitution, he said, I would. Did they give you a hard time too? Did they give you a hard? Our Constitution is being ripped to shreds. Israel is under attack. And now we have terrorist sympathizers chanting their jihad slogans on our streets, all over our streets. With your vote, we will defend our country, we will defend our Judeo-Christian values, and we will defend Western civilization. The attack on Israel would have never happened, wouldn't have happened. You know, we had Iran in a very good place. They were broke. Now they're rich. Ukraine would never have happened. It would have never, ever happened. Putin would never have done it. Inflation would never have happened. That was started with stupid energy problems. You know, they just said, let's not drill, let's go to more of the things that don't work. And energy went up at a level that you will soon see again, by the way. You'll see it again. I see that in California, they just hit $8.15 a gallon. That's not good. And you'll be following, unfortunately, but we're going to get it done. You know, we were at $1.87. Think of that, Ben. $1.87 a gallon. That's when I told you I was going to make a great deal with China, a great deal with Canada and Mexico. I said, go out, buy more land, and bigger tractors. Do you remember that? I said bigger tractors and more land. But most embarrassing is the inept withdrawal. I was getting out of Afghanistan. 21 years was a long time, but we were getting out with dignity, honor. You know, I called up the head of the Taliban and I said, Abdul, don't ever do what you're doing, Abdul, because he was they were knocking them off left and right. They were shooting, killing a lot of people, especially under Obama. They were killing them, snipers. And I spoke to them, the fake news media. The fake news media, they weren't thrilled. They weren't exactly thrilled. But the fake news went out and they were very upset that I called him. I said, well, who else would I call? He's the leader of the Taliban. He's the one that's killing our people and killing a lot of people. I tell the story, Jesse James, he was a great bank robber, right? Jesse James. I said, Jesse, why do you always rob banks? He said, because that's where the money is. That's where the money is. You stupid person to ask a question like that. I rob banks because that's where the money is. Well, I dealt with the Taliban and the head of the Taliban because that's where the killing was. And we went 18 months after that, not one soldier even shot at. And we were losing them. We would have had a withdrawal that would have been very nice, and we would have kept the big air base. You know, we had an air base, one of the biggest in the world, and not because of Afghanistan, but because it's 1 hour away from where China makes their nuclear weapons. It would have been nice to keep it called Bagram, and we would have kept that. I was planning to stay there. They gave it up. They ran out at night. They took the military out first. Before they took out anything, they didn't take the American citizens, many of whom are still there now. A lot of people don't know that. They cannot be enjoyable right now. They can't get out. But they took the military out first. Then they tried to take the citizens and the military equipment. We left $85 billion worth of equipment behind. Think of it. How stupid are these people? You know, I hate to use that word, but it's just a very accurate word. How stupid are they? How stupid? And they left all that equipment behind. And now Afghanistan is the second or third largest seller of military equipment in the world. They're selling our equipment that we left behind because they don't need anywhere near. They need about 3% of it. 700,000 rifles and guns, 70,000 trucks and cars, many of them armor-plated, costing millions of dollars to build. Airplanes, tanks, goggles, you know, the goggles. They weren't, you know, they're great fighters, but they never fought at night because they couldn't see at night. Now they can fight at night because we left them the best goggles, brand new, never taken out of the box, and better than what we have. Thousands and thousands of goggles. People say, oh, that's not so good. Well, it is. Those are very expensive. Those are treasures. We gave them everything, and What we got is nothing but embarrassment. The most embarrassing moment, in my opinion, the most embarrassing moment in the history of our country. And I think that's one of the reasons that Putin said, hey, if these people are so inept to allow a thing like that to happen, let's go and try and take Ukraine right now. And I think it opened the world to some very bad facts. But the truth is, you know, we defeated ISIS 100%. Ben was with me. 100% of the ISIS caliphate. We did it in 4 weeks. You know, we did that in 4 weeks. 4 weeks, and we knocked out 100% of that, and it was an honor to do it. We were told that we couldn't do it for 4 years. It would take 4 years at least, and maybe not be able to do it. We did it in 4 weeks. We have unbelievable military, and that was when I went over to Iraq. Do you remember that? I spoke to some incredible people over there, and they said, sir, I think we can do it in 4 weeks. You have time left over. And we had unbelievable, our military is great, but we did things that nobody thought we could do. We would not have an open border where countries are emptying out their prisons and their mental institutions. They say, please don't use this term, sir. Insane asylums. That's Silence of the Lambs, right? Hannibal Lecter. Did anybody ever hear of Hannibal Lecter? The young people didn't. The young ones didn't. They don't want to hear about Hannibal. We don't want, but that's, they said it's a very tough term. I said, well, it's inaccurate. They're emptying out insane asylums. They're emptying out their mental institutions. They're emptying out their prisons and jails. And terrorists are pouring into our country. In record numbers, the terrorists are coming in. You know, they show a graph on one of the networks today that under Trump, 0 in 2019. They're showing 2019, 2020, 2020. 0 terrorists. Think of that. And then the march begins. They go to 2020, 2021, and now it's numbers that we've never even seen before. And what can be good about that? You know, whether you're liberal, conservative, common sense, doesn't matter. I like to say I'm common sense. They say, what are you? You're very conservative. I said, well, I'm basically common sense. The people in this room are common sense. Somebody would say, oh, he gave up being a conservative. No, I'm conservative. With common sense. We don't want open borders. We want voter ID. We want paper ballots. We want same-day voting. We want schools that work well and can teach your kids how to read and write and arithmetic. We want a strong military. We want low taxes. Right? We want low taxes. We want very little regulation. I gave you the greatest tax cut in the history of the country. We gave you the biggest regulation cut. That's why we had the best economy in the history of America. We had the best economy in the history of our country. And we'll do it again. I think we can do it quickly. Look, they really loused it up with energy. Energy was a disaster. We will say the words, drill, baby, drill. We'll be drilling. So those big tractors that you bought that take a little more fuel, you'll be very happy in a very short period of time. But you're going to be very happy. But we did great, and you know, they're just running off the fumes of what we did. I was very disrespectful to Iowa. I'd like to apologize because I go around saying, of course we're going to win Iowa. And my people say, you cannot assume that to this extent. Well, we are, I think we're up by 47 points or something, so we should forgetting that. But then they said, sir, it would be nice if you didn't say that because you can't just assume, you know, people. I got farmers $28 billion from China. I said, there's no way that Iowa is going to get mixed up. There's nothing. You guys were opening up those checks. You say, where the hell did that come from? That came from Trump. I got it from China. You think Biden's going to get $28 billion from China? China pays Biden directly. Just trying to find out how much. Most corrupt president we've ever had by far, and the most incompetent. You wouldn't say that. I respect the office too much, but now I hit him differently than I would. because they did something to me that's never been done before. They indicted me because I protested a crooked election. They indicted me. They go after people for years. You notice they never go after people that rigged the election. They go after people that are complaining about the rigging. Did anybody see anybody, with all the things and all the facts we have, and you'll be seeing them come out, because we never forget, history, you have to remember, history is a very important word. But they indicted me once, twice, 3, 4. I think they stopped. I heard they were going to do a couple of more, but they said, don't do any more, because my poll numbers have shot up. He's a very nice fellow. Al Capone. Did you ever hear of him? Scarface. He had a scar that went from year to year, and he didn't get that scar by playing tiddlywinks, right? Alphonse Capone. If you smiled at him in the wrong way, he'd kill you. He was only indicted one time. I got 4. I wonder if my father and mother are proud of me. Over nonsense, over stuff. Incredible. Over stuff. Think of it. Over fighting an election. 2016 election, almost every congressman, Democrat, said, you're wrong. They made up the Russia thing. Nothing happened to them. They did things that were so bad, so illegal, nothing happens. When you look at what's going on in this country, we have 2 tiers of justice, and we're going to have it turned around very fast. It's not going to happen. Not going to happen. They go after Christians. And I know you have fewer Catholics in this room than you would normally have in a lot of other states, but how about the Catholics? They're going after the Catholics like, what's going on with the Catholics? And they go after parents because they want their school boards to do a better job, and they go after parents